Please settle down. We will be starting
Yeah, got it.
the press
Hello.
conference.
Yeah.
Sorry for the inconvenience caused, but uh, so should we start? Good afternoon. I'm Nitin Sapre from PIB. I welcome Mr. Riddhi Sen,
Thank you so much.
a lead role played in NagarKirtan film by Kaushik Ganguly and Mr. Sandeep Pampally, director of the film Sinjar. I think the first movie made in Jasarai. That is a dialect spoken in Lakshadweep Island. So that is there. This Sandeep Pampalli's debut film, back 2 awards. One is for the best film in the dialect Jasrai and the debut director. So with this, basically the film is on ordinary fishermen and two women, this sister and fiance, and their struggle with they were captive and this thing by the terrorist, and their struggle with this terrorist, and then their communal harmony, the work for the communal harmony they made. The film talks about that. Secondly, this NagarKirtan film, Bengali film, directed by Kaushik Ganguly, and the lead role played by Mr. Riddhi Sen. He is with us. I welcome you both for this press conference, and friends, you are also welcome after the first press conference after the lunch. So I would request Mr. Pampally, please initiate a dialogue, and then subsequently Riddhi Sen will also will speak, and then we will the floor will be open for the question and answers. Please.
Hello. Good afternoon. Before starting a few words, I would like to all the press medias, please mention my name only Pampally. In movies, I put my name as Pampally only. And regarding my movie, Sinjar is a place in Iraq. Of course, most of the all people knows about the importance of Sinjar. Actually, the ISIS terrorists were captured this place. It's called Mount Sinjar, in 2014. And from that day, it is they started their Islamic State all over the world, and they started to capturing the nearest places just near to the Sinjar, then Mosul, like they started their captivity. During their captivity in 2014, they captivated many ladies, especially the Yazidi ladies and small girls, and they were brutally sexually harassed, and they were abducted in their dark house. So actually my story which indicate or which shows that how the international terrorism affect an ordinary fisherman's life in Lakshadweep Island. And you have heard a lot of terrorist attacks in all over the world and different kinds of problems. Then we never thought how that kind of news or that kind of incident can be affect an uneducated, an ordinary is a fisherman who is living inside a small island called Kavarati. Yeah, and these movies we totally shot inside that island within 16 days. But for its pre-production, the permission and other things we have to proceed because it's a union territory area, you know. And moreover, it's a small place with a strong communal strength of people. So we have to seek some kind of NOCs from the different communal caste and so and so. after we got the final permission to shoot that particular island. And of course, I would like to thank all the islander people of Kavaratti who supported and give full heart support to complete this movie, only because we are shooting and producing or making this movie in the dialect of Jasari. And this movie got 2 national awards. At the same time, it's already showcased, first time showcased in Festival de Cannes in Indian Pavilion. After that, the opening, this was the opening movie of ASEAN Indian Film Festival. Then it's for the Brisk International Film Festival and 2 more festivals in Korea. Parallelly, it won the several awards throughout in India. Shimla International Film Festival was the best movie, and for the Lake International Film Festival, the best cinematographer, best movie, and best script, and so many awards. So far, it received nearly 8 awards and participate nearly 20 international and national festivals.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. And recently, it's a wonderful thing that this is the movie that has been selected almost the all best film festivals in India, and just one and a half week back, it has been showcased in Kolkata International Film Festival in Unheard India, the category of Unheard India, and just after the IFI Indian Panorama, and it is showcasing in 9th of December for the International Film Festival of Kerala. And of course, it's a wonderful experience ever we got. And apart from this, you want to ask something? I can share my ideas.
Yeah.
Sure. Prior to that, I would request the Senji also to have a
Narrate
dialogue,
the story.
narrate the story, speak about his film, which has also bagged 4 national awards in different categories in 65 national, 65th national film awards. So I request you to have a
Yeah,
few
I
words
think
with him, then will
we are
have
very lucky that when this film NagarKirtan is going to release, so it's going to release in a time when 377 was abolished. So we're going to release this in January. It's a story about a transgender girl, I mean a boy, you can say, who has a woman trapped inside a male's body. And as we all know that how the conditions are for these people when they figure out that there's a woman trapped inside their body and they can't do anything about it. So what happened in this story, it's going to screen today also. If any of you are free, please do come along for the screening at 6 o'clock at Inox 2. And so this girl falls in love with this flute player called Madhu, and then they escape on a journey together, leaving their household, even the transgender community, who also not allows them to believe in an unparalleled love, you can say. So they set out on a journey together, a journey which is devoted towards true love and to find the true being within. So this is the story all about. Without not revealing much about the story, I said it. But I think I should talk about my director, Mr. Kaushik Ganguly, because he faced a lot of constraints before making this movie. Because here in India, people are still afraid to produce third gender movies. Sometimes in Kolkata, he approached several producers, but he didn't get one. So he told me that I'm going to make this movie, but I don't know when. But I had a faith in him that I knew that he's going to make this movie. And finally, Sani Ghoshre, Acropolis Film, agreed to produce this movie. It's their first movie, you can say. And the first movie bagged them 4 national awards. So I think that is the power of true content and the power of the belief in cinema and oneself. And it's one life-changing experience for me because I played the character of a girl, a transgender girl. And as you know, that unlike Hollywood or Hindi cinema, in regional industry, we don't get 6 to 7 months to prepare for a character. So we shot the movie with 0 preparation and in 20 days. So for me, the transformational part was a little difficult. Not little, I think, very, very, very difficult because I had to go through a complete look change and to forget all about all my nuances, my walk, my talk, the way I eat, the way I sit, even my voice for that matter. So the entire credit goes to Mr. Kaushik Ganguly and our unit who shot this movie in 20 days, which is very, very little time for regional cinema, the kind of money we don't get that amount of a budget like Hindi movies or Hollywood for that matter. So I think this entire credit goes to the team, and also real transgender people helped me in doing this character. I owe it a lot to them because they shared their own experience before and after they went through their surgeries, and how they are still not accepted even after their surgeries in our so-called society, you can say. So, but I think I'm very happy that the film is releasing after the abolition of 377. It's going to release in January, for that matter, and I really hope that this film, I don't know, but still, I think cinema can change at least 1% of the society. So I think our film is a little effort to plunge into the darkness and help those people who are not being accepted the way they are about their true identity. And so I don't know how it will affect people, but I'm sure this will help at least a few of them, definitely. And the national award I won, I think this is just not my national award. It is for those people who are struggling every day to accept themselves. I mean, stuck in their own identity crisis. And this is something which is very alien to me, the concept of identity, because I know my orientation, I know who I am, I know what I'm doing. So the entire thing, so when I read the script, beautifully written by Mr. Kaushik Ganguly and researched by him, so in the process of the ongoing movie, I realized that how much pain, how much, what deep crisis these people goes through. So I think once people watch this movie, they will understand that what actually happens. A lot of facts has been shown which are really kept hidden. Mr. Ganguly researched this for years and he wrote this script. And thanks a lot to Indian Panorama, because this is something, IFFI is a place where we all like to say that my film has been selected at IFFI. So I'm really grateful that I came here for the second time, I was telling you, because I came earlier for this movie called Children of War by Mrityunjay Devrath. It was on 1971 Bangladesh War. It was Farooq Sheikh's last movie. So I never thought that I never knew that when I'm going to come back again. So I'm really, really happy that with the atmosphere, whenever you step into IFFI, the vibrant atmosphere all around, the selection of films, the kind of movies which comes here. In fact, this time the Israeli films I've been noticing, it is an amazing panel, and the selection of movies are amazing in the Israeli section. So I'm really happy and privileged that my movie came here after winning all the national awards, and it's getting showcased here in an international film festival.
With this, thank you. And now the floor is open for the questions. Please. Any questions? If not, I have a question to Pampally
Yes,
first,
sir.
if may I allowed to. Basically, this you said that it's a very. How was the experience? It's shooting a film in 16 days is
Yeah.
really. I just understand how. So I think it must be a separate story itself in it. That
Definitely, sir.
please share your some of the experiences of doing
Sure.
it in the 16 days.
Yeah, actually, according to me, because being a new director, and if he is working for a debut director, and definitely he has some kind of, I mean, the troubles, and he have to face many things together, and definitely he have some sort of stress and strain. Everything should be there, but apart from, I have to face another big problem, that was the island, because that island, if during the shoot, if some equipments got any problem, we can very easily go come and back and take that instrument replace or something. That it is not possible. And the thing is that we are getting, every day we have only single flight from Agatti Island to the land, I mean the Cochin. But the thing is that it is only in the morning 11:30 flight. If we miss that one, we have to wait until the tomorrow, and that flight should be a very few seats, and mostly that seats will be occupied by the government officials and so and so. So the travel, and by talking about the ship, it will be in 3 days or 4 days we can get that, and that will be reached in Kochi within 2 or 3 days. And it's very difficult. And moreover, by starting my work, my first struggle was regarding the language of Jasari, because that language doesn't have any kind of dialect or grammar, or nothing is there. So first I wrote this script in Malayalam, my language Malayalam. Then after that, I went over there and stayed there with 1.5 to 2 months over there. And I find out some local people from the islanders and started to interact with them. And every every evening, I'm coming into my room with the 2-3 assistant directors. I made them as my assistant directors of young people of Lakshadweep Island. And I'm discussing every day my Malayalam dialogue with them, and after they're getting their feedback, I write down a new script with that Jasari, and I just write down everything in Malayalam. And the next crisis came when there is 10 to 15 main actors from the Malayalam industry. And when they are participated in my movie, I just gave them some training, especially for this kind of language. But during the shoot, most of the words they can't pronounce properly. Then arise another problem. Then I do another task for correcting the dialogue. I made again the reconstruction on the spot, and I made this is the thing I want to communicate. And I asked my local people, the local assistant directors, you spell different type of that kind of meaning with a different style of sentences. So then one person will say, he said one sentence, and another person said another type, and the third person said another one. And altogether, I told my actor to notice which one you can pronounce very easily. And he said, yeah, I can spell this one. Then that sentence I quoted there and let him to study that well, and then we will shoot. And that kind of procedure I have to do from the beginning to the end of the movie. And mostly we did nearly 10 to 12 scenes, only the night scenes. The entire other scenes are shot in the daytime. So we have to start the shoot from the early morning to the 5 o'clock. I hope I finished every day nearly 5 to 6 scenes. That actually it's a running process. There is no time to even have the food, because when I'm having food, I told my other assistants to set the lights and other things over there. The meantime, I was eating the food and other things. At the same time, the all other team are going for another. That kind of job is every day happening. And that kind of shooting procedure, and it's another language, and we have to the most important thing, if it is in Malayalam, I can understand what is happening, the lip movement. First we choose it will shot in a zing sound. But I realized that it is not possible with this kind of language. So I made I took the other ambience, all the ambience I catch up, and I try to dub again. And when during the dub started, it's again the another problem, because most of the words are not properly pronounced, and their lip is something different. Then I have to search another word for that suits their lip movement. I think I took nearly 1.5 months to complete the dub process only. Oh. And it's that when after completing the movie, when I just reversed back what I did for this movie, I was so afraid how I can complete this movie in such a in a short time, and in such like a, actually speaking, it's a Himalayan task, and I could finish anyway. That's a experience I got.
Yeah. Same is the story, I'm sure, with Riddhi, with you also.
Not as difficult as this, I would admit.
May not be that.
Not as difficult,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
no, but your difficulties may be in
In a
transforming
different way.
you
Yeah,
absolutely,
absolutely.
Character
into the role,
to-
character.
The transformation part of it, I guess, because
Yeah.
we shot it in 22 days, I guess.
Yeah.
But the hardest part was the
coincidentally, both the movies are shot in a very
short time.
Short
No, but the problem for me was that the prep time was not there because I was shooting for something else, and we didn't know that this movie will go on the floors in August. We shot it last year, August, because no producer was ready to produce this. So suddenly, Acropolis came in, and the movie started rolling. So we barely got time to prepare, and I was engaged with some other projects. So I got zero time to prep for this character, and I was afraid as hell before starting off this movie because I didn't know how to convince myself into such a character to begin with, because I had to undergo, like, I had to shave like twice a day. Because the first day I shave, and by evening I get my stubbles out, and then the makeup process took like an hour, 1.5 hour every day, and I'm so not used to eyeliners, kajals, and all of that, lipsticks and makeup and all of that. So I had to be very patient with that, and to wear the wig, and also the hardest part was to capture the physicality and to maintain that fine line that it shouldn't look caricaturish, and that's the most difficult part. It shouldn't look that I'm making fun out of something. So it had to be,
be a
the
serious-
balance needed to be there very well, because the walk was very difficult, the run was very difficult, and I had to wear heels and I had to run. And I can say that I ran as good as any other girl in heels, I'm sure, because I didn't like flip my toes at all. So and my like feet used to like die by the end of the shoot because of those heels. I had to wear saris. I remember we were shooting in this bus stand in this place called Krishnanagar in Kolkata. It was 42 degrees. It was so hot, and I had 3 sari changes that day. I had to do it inside a bus. I remember, because the vanity couldn't come in such a situation. So changing 3 saris to a day to changing my voice in the dubbing, because I can't use this voice. So this was a very patient process, I can tell you, because on the first day of set, everything seemed that I can't do it. So it started from that level. But gradually we relaxed, and Mr. Ganguly said that keep faith in me, trust me, just relax, and we'll get to the end of the movie. And I actually saw this kind of a process requires a lot of patience. Usually the job of acting itself requires a lot of patience. We all know, as Dustin Hoffman said, that actors are paid for their patience, not for their acting. But in these kind of movies, you need to be very patient when you are really transforming yourself completely. And I think there you need a director who can keep your concentration going, push you beyond the limits. I mean, push you beyond what is expected out of you. Maybe I know I can go to till 50, but he can push me and he can take me to 110. So I'm extremely lucky that I got a director like Mr. Ganguly, who is an extremely amazing actor himself. Very few people are privy to this information, but he's an extremely amazing actor. And so he guided me very well. I used to observe my girlfriend, my mother, how they eat, how they're taking their pallu, how they're walking, how they're sitting. I used to observe all of that constantly. I saw this movie called The Danish Girl as a reference point by Eddie Redmayne, who won the Oscar. So it was also about Lily Elbe, the first transgender woman in the world. So that movie helped me a lot in to understand the physicality of a woman, and most importantly, the psychology of a woman. That is very, very, very hard to understand. More hard than the physical procedure, I would like to say.
Yeah. So no wonder you have the film has bagged
Yeah.
award for makeup as well as
Yeah, it won
best
like
actor.
best jury,
The best,
makeup,
jury,
best costume, and I
and the
don't know
best
how I
actor.
bagged it, but I'm lucky maybe.
So thank you very much once
you so
again for coming to this press conference, and both of you.
Yeah.
And
Thank
please,
you.
if any of you are free,
Yeah.
come to our movie. It is
6 o'clock,
6
Inox
o'clock,
1.
Inox 2. Inox 2.
Sorry,
Inox 2, 6 o'clock. It's called NagarKirtan, so please come down if interested.
Thank you. The next press conference would be at 4 o'clock.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.